Great.
It's your cue.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special webinar. It's great to see a lot of the faces on this webinar. Year 2022, that's a great year for everyone. And tonight we have a very special webinar. You'll definitely want to get some paper and pen and take some notes for tonight. My name is Kelly Ronson. I am from London, Ontario, Canada. And how this webinar is going to unfold today is that we've got a very special guest that I will be introducing to you. He will be talking about the pandemic and a way out of it, disease and aging, and leading a transformed life. He will then introduce our Crown Diamonds of the company, a very special couple. They are global leaders. They have shared the technology that you're going to hear tonight. And of course, when you share with enough people, there's always a great opportunity financially as well. So once again, my name is Kelly Ronson, and I have studied the science that you're going to hear about for many years. And health, as you know, has been critical. And we're going to be talking about tonight. Especially my story was that, my parents passed away in 2011, 6 months apart. And at that point, I realized that health was extremely critical. It really hit home for me. And so, throughout the pandemic, I have stayed healthy as a result of what you're going to hear tonight. And I continue to share it globally around the world with people because I truly believe that we are changing many lives. So I would like to introduce our special guest, which is Dr. Augustine Oseki. Many of you know him, but he is a very reputable doctor in Nigeria. He is a medical director for Armstrong Hospital. He has supervised many medical outreaches in Nigeria and performed many surgeries. He is definitely on a mission to provide hope to people with their health. So I can't say enough about him. Welcome, Dr. Augustine, and the floor is now yours.
Oh, thank you very much, Kelly. Let me first of all establish if you can hear me very well. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Usually when I hear such amazing introduction, I begin to look for who was introduced. Tonight, I feel very, very excited because I have something I see as an honor and a privilege to be addressing, great people, men and women of this universe, I will call it, because we are not limited people. A lot of people live limited lives, and that is the reason why they have the challenges they have. Now, as you have heard, this is coming from a company which you're going to be hearing about much later. But what is key to everything we're talking about is health. And when we're talking of health, the most important issue we are faced with today is COVID-19. And of course, it has transformed to other, strains. Presently, what the strains we're talking about is Omicron, exactly. So now I want to address it as you have seen in the invitation which you have received. The first thing is what you've not been told about COVID-19. I know it's a startler. The moment you hear that, you start to decide, what else haven't we heard about COVID-19? And people want to come up. I would say on the lighter mode, it is not meant to give you surprise, and it's not like an absolute thing that you've not heard about it. The one fact about COVID-19, COVID generally, is that from the onset, I made a prediction, and over time it began to happen, to get revealed. And my prediction was that this COVID-19 isn't going to remain COVID-19. If you're a doctor here or a science person, and you know your science very well, you know biology very well, you know that viruses mutate. Viruses do not remain the same. And that's the reason why you keep having challenges with them whenever they decide to be problematic. We've had a lot of troubles with measles virus. We have had Ebola virus, anything that you don't hear bacteria give such kind of challenge. But viruses are always very elusive. Just at the time you are perfecting your approach in destroying it, it is already becoming something else. It has developed shield against what you are using to attack it. And before you know it, is another thing. And that's why today, nobody is talking COVID-19. We're talking of the Omicron strain. We've had the Delta virus and all that. But by and large, having said that, what you really have not heard that I want to bring to your notice is that against what you've always been heard, tension everywhere, scare, worry, and all that, the moment you hear COVID, you know, you raise a lot of emotions. But the truth about it is you don't need to worry. I could recall at the early stages of the inception of COVID-19, first with my staff, I know I received a call from home, my parents telling me to probably leave the hospital and come back home and all that. And I told them, no, isn't that bad? And I see the scare in my staff. And I always tell them, I said, the first thing that will kill you is fear, is worry. When you are scared, that is the first thing that is going to kill you. Because when that happens, your immunity begins to drop. And how do we get to that? There are stress hormones that are released by your system when you are stressed, when you are worried, when you are disturbed. And those things, when they get released into your system, further undermines your health. And what you then notice is that you are breaking down. And when that is happening, the COVID takes advantage more of you. Okay, there are other factors we know that that makes one prone to this virus. We've heard of concurrent illnesses like being diabetic, you know, being asthmatic, being a sickler, and all the likes. We also know that old age, the elderly people are prone to COVID, the COVID virus. So, and all these conditions are associated with low immune status of an individual. So to help yourself, it is very important to be quite positive. And I tell you, I have been able to use even this kind of counseling, being positive and not being afraid, to help a lot of people out of this COVID situation. And I know you really have not heard this, and that is the shocker here, that I know you're expecting to hear something strange. It's not all that strange. But having said that, I know we are here to address diseases and aging. We all don't want to be sick. We don't want to get old too fast. We want to get to a good old age. Of course, the age where we say, yes, I've come and satisfied all what I've come to this earth to do. And what are the things you need really to follow? In the years of my experience, I have been able to pencil down certain important things because I have seen them work. They've been experimented day in, day out, and I see them work amazingly. And that is why in medical practice, we give some kind of credence to the roles of pastors, you know, at encouraging people, telling them good things. Sometimes there is nothing real that is happening. It's just the state of mind that somebody is able to talk to you out of the situation. You free your mind. That alone could bring healing to you. But having said that, I want to take you through some steps. I have them listed here, about over 10 of them. The first thing that I will tell you you really need to take note of is to be conscious of yourself and your surrounding. Nobody mentions this. You don't hear it anywhere as part of what will help you live long and stay healthy. Being conscious of yourself, who you are, where are you, what is happening around you, is where you are saying safe or not, safe or not. Is it clean? Is it dirty? Are there animals that could hurt you? Are there, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because they say to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And I notice that a lot of people are not careful. They're not conscious of their environment. So they don't see imminent accidents. Things are about to happen. They don't see it. They want to cross the road. They don't look. There's the rule that you should look your right, look left, then look right again. When the road is safe, then you cross. So when you are not conscious, even in football games, you should observe the nature, the pattern of your opponent, the way they are playing. If they are too aggressive, you know you have to be very careful. But there are people who don't pay attention to these little details. And I tell you, it's quite key to living long, because the more you are prone to accidents and all that, things can happen and will take your life as an emergency. Emergencies happen, and when we analyze them, we realize that these people really were not really conscious. Here's a common case that we will all relate with: accidents, motor vehicle accidents. Why? Maybe the driver is probably drunk, or it's not just being conscious of. So being conscious alone can add many years to your life. Being conscious and aware, and being aware of your environment can add more years to your life. But unfortunately, it is being said, and whenever you are discussing what could prolong your life, give you, lead you to old age, they don't mention this. So I'm mentioning this, and it is number one, and you should take note of that. The other thing I will tell you, quite important, is your food, what you eat. Eating too much kills. Eating too much kills. Very important. We see a lot of people given to binge eating. Why? Because of depression, because of stress, because of, you know, so many things happening to them. It's either that they go into binge eating or they lose their appetites, you know, anyways. And at the end of the day, whether you don't eat at all or you eat too much, you harm yourself, you harm your health. So number two here is avoiding eating too much. And this is quite very important to take note of. Then the other thing I want to bring to your attention is what you eat. Apart from the fact that you moderate the quantity of the food you eat and all that, it is important to mind what you eat. What are you eating? These days, it's quite difficult for us to even eat the right things, because we've heard it in so many presentations that processed foods are not safe. People talk about organic-based foods and all that, and if you follow the trend, you realize that you see facts in the prices of things. Foods that are organic-based, in other words, they have less chemicals, less preservatives and all that, you notice that they are more expensive. So that tells you what is more expensive, it's quite better. And it is important to eat nuts. I'll run through all this. Then the third thing that will take you on, I told you there are a lot of other things to talk about in order to live long and healthy, is supplementation. What are you taking as supplements? A lot of people do not understand how important supplements are. And I was one of them. I used to see it as a means of, I don't know, it's more like wasting resources, because most of the time you see that companies are the ones bringing the supplements, and they have networks. And with that, you have to part with huge amounts of money. And at the end of the day, we get testimonies. Some will say, no, it's not working and all that. But I got exposed to this. It took me a long time to get convinced that truly supplements are good. Because today my practice has changed, because I included supplements, and a lot of doctors are admiring that. And they are borrowing from my ideas. By introducing supplements, I reduce death rates to about by 90%, by almost 90%. In other words, where 10 people are dying in a certain period, it's just one of them, one that is dying. So isn't that amazing? Just by introducing supplement. And if you look at it, when you go deep into supplementation, you find out that it is not, a lot of people think supplements is just vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K, and all that. It is beyond that. It is beyond cod liver oil. When you talk of supplementation, let me give you a background to that. I know you watch movies because if you are not coming from China, definitely you haven't seen where a Chinese is eating. When you see in their gathering in the family, they want to take their breakfast, or is it dinner or lunch and all that. Just check out the tables. You see all varieties on the tables. And sometimes you want to say they eat too much. That is not true. I had an experience in Tanzania, Zanzibar precisely. When I got there, the way foods were made available was scary to me. In fact, I made a video was stating that I hope I will not double my size by the time I return to Nigeria. But what happened? When I got involved and I was eating, I realized that people were changing courses of meals. They go in, it's usually buffet. They go in, they fill their plates with varieties, they finish it, they go for more again, they finish it. Some will even take like 5, 6 plates, you know, at a go. They go one after the other, fill each plate, and they're going to start eating at the same time. So what the experience I had from that was that it's not about all about the quantity you eat, but what exactly are you eating? Because a lot of what they were eating was medicinal. You find nuts there, you find vegetables there, you find proteins in their different patterns. Is it fish? That was the first time I ate, what do you call it, octopus. And when you tell people you eat octopus, oh, your wife may not want to kiss you again. You ate octopus, but then I tell you, it's delicious. It was an amazing experience. And instead of adding weight, I was putting on, you know, good looks. I maintained good weight, and I was healthy and fine. And I realized that, no, poverty is bad. And that is the basis for supplement. Where you cannot get all these resources available to you, what then do you do? Companies decided to get a shortcut to that. Of course, cod liver oil is coming from a particular fish that is believed to contain a very good vitamin. You understand that is good for the system. Now, if you cannot eat the fish, what do? You get the supplement. You get cod liver oil. Okay, so it applies to many foods that are called superfoods. They call them superfoods because they are super medicinal. And that is where real supplementation comes in. And the company you'll be hearing about now, that I'll be talking to you about supplementation, is the first company to let me know the full meaning of supplementation, because the products contain ingredients that you could get from all these foods. You can imagine taking a particular, just one capsule, and you can find agents of more than 10 superfoods in that one capsule. In fact, it gave a new dimension to it. And lo and behold, when I started taking this product, my patients were taking it. Even some cases that required surgery, things just fizzled out. I don't know if Dr. Adebayo is, okay. I can see Dr. Adebayo online. I was about to approach him recently to help me do one small operation because there was a part of my body that I noticed one swelling I was not too comfortable about. And I was thinking of talking to him to help me take it out because he's a surgeon I work with and he's very good with surgeries. There's no surgery you want to tell him about. He will tell you, doctor, let's go ahead, we'll do it. And it turns out perfect. So I was planning to meet him to tell him, he doesn't know this because I haven't told him. So, but on a second look at it, I remember the products in this company. I said, okay, let me do what could help me. I know I borrowed an idea from Tammy Sellers. You're online now. You remember when you had injury on your fingers, crush injury, that would have taken 2-3 weeks to heal, and the healing was within 2-3 days. So I used that approach, and lo and behold, the mass disappeared. So that's to tell you how valuable supplements can be. So it's part of what you really need to do. And what else do supplements do? Like the special ones, I'm not talking of just taking vitamin C, you go and sleep. Because I see a lot of people, they tell you, I take supplements. I take a lot of supplements. And when you analyze what they take, you can't compare it to that Chinese family that has all varieties on the tables and all that. But the only company that I've seen that has that variety in their products that has won my heart, it took over a year for them to get me convinced. But what convinced me most was when I started experimenting with the products and letting my patients have them, people that were to die were now living. In fact, some people started thinking maybe I've joined one occult group where we use some magic to make people come back to life or become well. But with time, they got to know it. They know better now. So before I proceed at this point, so the presentation doesn't look so monotonous, I want to invite somebody that I tell you, I don't know what to call him. The day I met him in Nigeria, I thought I didn't actually pay attention. I didn't know I was looking at somebody that was going to turn my life around by making me know something that is the most powerful. And this person is none other person than Chris and Tam. I want to invite them to talk to us about this company and this product. So wherever he stops, I will take it up from there. Please, Chris, you're welcome.
Dr. Austin, thank you. It's such an honor to work with you. And as you know, Tammy and I are people that are not that tall. And I remember when I was in Nigeria and I met you, and I says, "Oh man, I wouldn't want to be in his bad books." Very tall, strong, big man. But you know what I was weak. But you know what was so impressed with you, Dr. Austin, is you are an extremely powerful, and I don't mean physical, because I'm sure you are physically powerful. I'm talking your mind, and also as a leader, as a doctor. But in the same time, you are the most kind and sensitive person. And Tammy and I absolutely fell in love with you and your leadership, and we're so impressed with what you have done. And I know there's other people involved as to why you got here. There was Justina and Joe and all. I want to give him respect for, bringing you on board. At the end of the day, you are a credit to the area of medicine. And because of you, people are becoming more and more and more aware of the importance of supplementation. And I'll give my wife a chance to share a few words here before we begin. But when it comes to supplementations, it is not a luxury anymore. It is a necessity. And you are absolutely, absolutely accurate. And if people are aware of that information, they can at least make an educated decision to consume it. And if they consume it, miracles happens. And we want to share with you some of those things. But I'm just going to turn it over to my wife to share a few words before we carry on.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to make sure I'm not too loud because I know yesterday my microphone was quite loud. Yeah. Chris and I are extremely passionate about what these products are doing for people, including ourselves and our family members and everybody around us that we've got a chance to make a connection and share with them. We've both been on supplements for many, many years and way past this company. And I really didn't see a difference. I knew that supplements were good and important, but when these products were introduced to us, I was literally blown away. I'm almost I'm 58 and a half years old. I have to add that half. I feel like I'm 30. We work out on a regular basis. I'm stronger than ever. We have no health issues. And we've been on these products for 15 years. I should be full-blown menopause with, female challenges. And I don't have that. So that in itself is absolutely huge. And I've got people around me that won't even try the product that are in my age group that are always complaining because there's something going wrong with them. And it's like, just give it a try and you're going to see. And there's a lot of science behind these products. There's a lot of supplements on the market that are full of fillers. They're full of fillers. And people go on the shelf and they go buy it and they don't even pay attention to the most important thing about the supplement. Of course, Dr. Austin can share a lot with you about that because he's been around this supplement for quite a while now, but they work. That's all I can say. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I'm telling you, the first time I got on our products, I got mental clarity, very quick mental clarity. I noticed my stamina, my energy levels from morning to night was there. And the moment I put my head down on the bed, I was sleeping like a baby. And that I didn't have before I started these products. When we work out, we should be really sore because sometimes we have intense workouts and we don't have that extreme soreness after. Do we feel our muscles? Absolutely, because we just worked out the muscle, but we don't have that lactic acid soreness that you can hardly walk the next day. So there's so many benefits of why people need to be on our products. And I always tell people, don't take my word for it. Get on the product and get your own experience. Dr. Austin, I didn't even realize that my story with my finger had made an impact for you to want to double up and triple up. I remember when I hit my finger, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be training for a couple weeks or so. Immediately, I took the product every 2 hours and I took pictures so you can see the difference in those hours. And it was amazing how quick the inflammation went down in that area and the healing effect happened.
Now, Dr. Austin, would you like me to share some screens in reference so people can see what the product looks like?
Absolutely. Please go on, Chris.
Okay. So let me just share just a screen when it comes to a product. I just want to confirm, can everybody see this? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that, just to confirm. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Well, see, at the end of the day, this is our line of products. And it's really, really interesting how impactful they have been. And we're not going to cover to it all, but just kind of give you a brief overview. And the certification is, the reason why we have Aloe certification is because there are people from all over the world that are using these products. And as you understand that we have some different religious cultures that we also want to respect. And they have, there's certain things that they won't eat and there's no pork in there and all of these things. And that's why this label is there, to be respectful of all the different, beliefs that we have, in the world. And the other also important aspect is Banned Substance Control Group. This is a certificate that is extremely, extremely expensive to have. It is actually very rare that you will find a supplement. Just look around, just go in pharmacies, just look around and look for supplements. You will see, you might be lucky and find one that has actually this certificate, Banned Substance Control Group. And that means that whatever is on the label and whatever the ingredients are there, and there's absolutely nothing in this, in the ingredients that could be harmful to a human being in any way, shape, or form. And it is doing exactly what it is supposed to do based on what is being marketed and what these products can do. And that certificate, very, very few companies or very few products can actually have this label because they don't get approved or they can't afford it. right? So this is something very important that we have. And we also, for example, in Nigeria, we have the NAFDAC because of your government, right? But we also have the health ministry in Canada. We have the health ministry in the United States. Every single country is also the Ghana, the GMA, the Ghanaian Medical Association. Every countries that these products are being available, which is 18 countries around the world, we each have the certificates that are approved by their own governments. So, and we're constantly expanding. And I'm telling you, if it was up to the world, we'd be all over the world already. But we're a small company, and there's only so much that we can produce at the same time as we increase. Right now, Nigeria is basically one of the number one market in the world because of the consumption and the educated doctors that are starting to talk about this. And the best part for you is the consumers are benefiting. So these are our breakthrough products. And very quickly, this one here is our flagship. This is our Solgivity. There are a series of ingredients. For example, aloe extract. I'm not going through all of them, but the aloe extract, you know that it comes from a plant, and it's basically generally used for skin, right, to protect the integrity of your skin. But they found at the cellular level, the healing properties are equally important. And in fact, there's books written on it. But the one that we just talked about here, Dr. Austin was talking about the glutathione molecule in your body. Now, this is what we call the ribosine. And the ribosine is the precursors. And Tammy and I have been listening to Doctor Symposium for the past 15 years. So we've been listening over and over and over. Right now, I'm just playing play, and I'm just sharing with you what it is we've been recording all these years. And the ribosine, it's a molecule that sits in every single cells of your body. And your body are made out of organs. Your organs are made out of cells. And these cells are protected by this molecule called ribosine. And glutathione, I'm sorry. And the ribosine is the precursor to produce the glutathione. So long story short, what we do is we increase the production of this molecule called glutathione by injecting the ribosine into the bloodstream, which in turn, the body knows exactly what to do with it. And that's how the glutathione is produced. The glutathione looks like a white little egg, and it floats inside your cells, and it protects the integrity of your cells. And if your cells are healthy, well, guess what? Your organs are healthier. If your organs are healthier, well, guess what? Your body is healthy. And that's what this product is right now, this is the number one product in the world that is in demand. And very quickly, this one here is the ATP. This is what we call the sidekick. And it's also fueled by ribosine. This is phenomenal if you work in a lot of hours, if you're an athlete, or if you have chronic fatigue, if you have headaches. This product is unbelievable. You mix it in a concentrated and about 200 milliliters of water. So a quarter of a bottle of water, 500 milliliters of water. You mix it and you drink it within 20 minutes. If you have a headache, we've seen it never fails. It goes away. And again, I'm just leaving a lot of things out just to go through this. And then we have the Max Infuse. And the Infuse, what happens is it's like a 6-foot table of very powerful nutrients that are missing in our basic food today. And it's actually converted into a little sachet, just like the previous packet we were sharing with you a moment ago. And it basically takes 20,000 calories of food, converted into 10 calories of food with all the nutrients that you would get if you would eat these 20,000 calories of food. And all of that is created by the same doctor, Dr. Robert Keller, which really didn't talk about today. But this is how powerful this is. And this will support the production of glutathione in your bloodstream. This one here is becoming very, very popular, especially after the holidays. You know, what's going on is that it's a weight management system created by Dr. Moad, and is designed to control the weight gain by helping the body deal with the metabolism. And as we age, the metabolism slows down. And when your metabolism slows down, your body doesn't become as effective in burning fat. But what if you can increase your metabolism speed, but it's heart healthy? It doesn't affect the heart and the speed of your heartbeat, but it affects the metabolism, and your body becomes more effective in burning calories. In the same time, when you take these capsules, it gives you a sense that you're always full, So you don't want to eat as much food. Dr. Austin was absolutely correct. One of the biggest problems today with health, people overeat, but they're being underfed of nutrients. But they overeat too much food, and your body goes crazy trying to burn all these calories and get rid of it. But then the next day or several hours later, you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. Eventually, the body can't keep up. And it's the reason why the body's struggling. So all the supplements that we're introducing to you are designed to help you deal with the environment and a toxic environment that we're facing. I know that Dr. Austin was talking about the fish oils, right? So we have the omegas 3, 5, and 7, which 7 comes from the pollock fish, coming from some very, very Norwegian waters, which is one of the purest water in the Atlantic, North Atlantic. Very, very pure. And you have access to all of that in Nigeria. There is 3 different offices that you can actually find and get these products. You just need to get back to Dr. Austin and or the person that invited you here today to get more information on how do I access this? How do I get that? Right? So in short, it's really how this works, and it's a really, really straightforward thing. And what's really interesting, folks, listen, we got thousands upon thousands. You, as I mentioned, we do business in 18 countries around the world, 18 countries, and it's growing very, very fast. So you're very fortunate to be exposed to this, and I'm glad that you have the opportunity to hear it from us. So, Dr. Austin, I really appreciate the opportunity to share, and I hope that what we share with you here was satisfactory. And feel free to ask some questions, and Tammy and I can certainly add more into it.
Absolutely, Chris. You've done justice to that. And you said exactly what should be said about the product. Sincerely, I don't think any other person knows better than knows anything about the products better than you. Of course, you're a crown diamond, the grandfather of a whole lot of generation. So I pretty much appreciate your presentation, and that of Tammy Sellers. She is the one that I would say I would rather want to call her my mother because she has done amazingly well. Like I said, it appeared I didn't finish my story about that mass that I was going to remove. I used her method, and I tell you, in fact, I wasn't even as exact as her. She was even doing it hours. I even taught them like 3 times in a day, those doses. And I did that like a week, and the mass disappeared. So thank you so much, Kelly, for always being there and bringing this good opportunity to Nigeria. I will tell you, I attended a program where the CEO was talking about a campaign he was encouraging us to go into. And this campaign is about reducing death rate or increasing life expectancy. And there and then, I observed that since Max came to Nigeria, death rate has dropped. Life expectancy has increased. I followed the year. I know when Max got into Nigeria. And we see it on everyday experiences. Like I told you, there were cases that I referred to the tertiary centers, say Lutz, Lasut. These are teaching hospitals where you find professors, you find consultants, and that's the highest level you could go. We do a lot of follow-up on cases we refer, like people with chronic liver conditions, people with chronic kidney conditions. I would stop at just these 2 people because these are the people that often when they get their condition, they end up dying no matter what you do. But I realized that with this product, I stopped referring these people because I realized when I refer them, they go there and die. And when I stopped referring them, some people are supposed to start their go into liver dialysis and sometimes kidney transplant and all that. And all that's are cut short, and they get their kidneys back. So how else should I show my gratitude to this company other than letting people, more and more people know about this this product, this great opportunity. So I will quickly run through other things you need to know when you want to live healthy lives. Some of them have been taken care of by these products we're talking about, like eating more plant-based foods. Of course, you have your vitamins and all that in it. Then physical activity is very important. Exercise. You need to be active. Sedentary lifestyle has been stated to be one of the causes of chronic illnesses and early death. You know, a lot of people from their vehicles sitting, get to their office sitting, get to their houses sitting, and all that. The only time they are not sitting, they are lying down. You know, it kills more than anything. And there are some people who are proposing that chairs should be eradicated. Because if you go and research it, you find out that the rate at which smoking kills equals the rate at which sitting kills. That is what research study has indicated. So inactivity is a big problem. So if you're not active one way or the other, I think you should get active now. Then smoking, like I said, they go alongside. That's why they are listed one after the other. Smoking is not a good thing. Then alcohol, as much as possible, is good to avoid it. You take in moderation if you're already into it. Okay. Then the other part I want to talk about is making happiness your priority. We kill ourselves faster when we are sad. Yes, when we are sad, we kill ourselves faster. I am an example. I'm a testimony. Back in those days, as far as over 20 years now, I know I used to say I'm from the poorest family in the world. And if that's the case, definitely a lot of things are going wrong. Education not guaranteed, feeding not guaranteed, and all that. And I realized that I used to weep. I used to cry. I used to get so depressed and all that. And guess what? I wasn't the better for it. Instead, I was getting worse. But one day, I just adopted it and say, well, if this poverty, if this life is what is meant for me, beautiful, yeah, let's dine, let's wine, let's be happy, let's be poor, let's be enjoying, let's feel cool about it. And it was as if somebody anointed me or did something to me. I tell you, that point, my misery left me. And that began to invite positive things, good luck, and all that. That's why I don't wave away what these motivational speakers say. A lot of time they say mindset. And a lot of people have seen it as a routine. They will always say it, but what is even this mindset they are talking about? It's a big deal. If you want to live long, work on your mindset. Ensure that you are happy. If anybody makes you sad or does anything that is not good and you're not happy about it, ensure you do away with that particular day. If you cannot do away with it that minute, make sure it doesn't does not go with you to the following day. So it's very, very important. When I start seeing the signs that certain things have been made to make me sad, I also form a resistance against it because I'm not negotiating my happiness for anything. How many of you have realized that when you are sad, you are angry, the next moment another thing happens, you want to pass a door, something seizes your leg, you want to cross something, something seizes your shirt, you're just looking so miserable. Why? Because you are sad. And that's what happens. You release negative energy to the universe. And it is the energy that we release that the universe reflects back to us. That's why you shouldn't release sadness to the universe. Even when you are sad, you are not happy, just fake that happiness and let the universe see that happiness and give you peace and happiness. I hope you get that, and that will help your life. Okay? Having said that, what other points would I need to mention? Okay. you should avoid stress and anxiety. They are similar, but to an extent. Stress is a situation where you are engaged in something that worries your mind. It doesn't seem as if it's worrying your mind, but your system is not comfortable with it. If there's a better thing, you would prefer it. I'll give you an example. In Lagos today, moving from one point to the other, you have to go through serious traffic. For me, it is stress. Nothing is more than that when it comes to stress. So I avoid the roads because I worry a lot. I feel bad and all that. But let me tell you, there's a thin line between stress and what is not stress. If you find another person who is happy doing it, it is not stress for that person. For instance, if I'm not comfortable with this presentation and I've been made to do it, guess what? I'll be sweating, I'll be confused, I'll be worried, I'll be stressed, hormones, a lot of things will be happening to me just because I'm not okay with it. So how do you manage stress? Just welcome the stuff. Get used to it, love it, appreciate it, make it a routine, look forward to it, and you see what is stressful. That's when it is an activity or an event that you cannot avoid, okay? And it's also important that you don't avoid unnecessary things. And what goes along with stress is anxiety. When you are too anxious, you worry. If you are Christian, the Bible talks so much about anxiety. Why do you fret? Why are you anxious? There's no reason for that. If you want to live a long life, you definitely have to do away with stress and anxiety. Then the other thing is to maintain good social life. Your relationship with your partners, your friends, your wife, your groups, just make sure you relate, you communicate, you feel happy about each other, introduce interesting things, activities, go to pool together, talk about good things, go watch movies, ensure you communicate well and feel good about that. Because a lot of people are on their sick bed today because they feel nobody cares about them. Nobody loves them. They are not in any social gathering or organization where they amuse themselves, they feel happy. So that is quite important. Then conscientiousness is quite important too. If you ask me what is conscientiousness, conscientiousness is being disciplined. It requires discipline to get so many things done in life. I will tell you, discipline led me to this. Ordinarily, this event wouldn't have come up because there's nothing palatable. It's not so convenient for me to organize an event like this, and I'd have been more comfortable lying down in my bed and all that. There are a lot of things that might come up that you don't expect. But because of discipline, even discouragements were coming in. A lot of people were not showing interest. They're not wanting to be part of what you're doing and all that. But staying consistent and disciplined and ensuring that, no, I must do this, I must do that. At least I had to go through some things before doing this presentation. It's part of discipline. Back home, back wherever you are, there are a lot of things you want to do. And when you talk about a life of success, you cannot take away discipline. You cannot take away discipline. You have to follow your assignments. You have to give yourself work to do. You have to give it time. By so time, I must have been done with this. And let me tell you, the more you use your brain in activity, the more your cells are refreshed, the younger you are. Okay? So do not avoid, being responsible. That's the way I would like to put it. Then it's good sleep pattern has been said a lot of times. And when they talk about living healthy and doing well, a lot of people stress sleeping. But I want to tell you that it is overstressed. The way they talk about sleeping well, I'm sorry to disappoint you tonight. You're not hearing the truth. You're not hearing the truth. I don't mind if there's a professor on this platform, you can indicate by showing hands, we debate it here. You see, there's a saying that says, let me ask you one question. Please. Is it possible by decision you say you're not going to visit the toilet for 10 days? By decision. It's not possible. Can you decide that you're not going to urinate for 10 days? Is it possible? They used to say you cannot cheat nature. I've seen myself several times when I've overworked myself and I'm not giving myself time and I'm not sleeping, and I have clients before me. Right before them, I'm sleeping, I'm dozing off. In conversation, I'm dozing off. You understand? So, like I said, you see, somebody took this product, Celgevity, and said Celgevity was practically telling him to go and sleep. I don't know if you get what I mean. I don't know how Sedentary develops mouths to talk to people. You understand? Apparently, this person took this product and the sleep he wasn't getting, he was getting it. You understand? So when it comes to sleep, the culture of saying, this is my bedtime, this is when I have to sleep, this is when I have to wake up, I don't think is true. I listened to a sage. This person, if I mention his name, you will all know him. I will tell you he's one of the wisest people on earth today. And he has a followership that is amazing. He tells you, and I've also heard it from other places, the healthier you are, the less sleep you require. The older you become, the less sleep you require. If you check the trend of sleeping pattern from childhood, children will sleep, especially from birth. I think they sleep more than 16 hours after birth, you understand? But as they grow, their sleeping pattern begins to drop as they get more matured. Then personally, I realize that when I'm healthy and fine, sleep doesn't just come to me anyhow. And when it comes, it has come. I must respect it. So you should focus on staying healthy. Focus on your exercise. You realize that there are people who have been looking for sleep. They are not getting it. But let them jog a street and come back. What happens that evening? They've gone to bed early. So let people stop talking, you must sleep, you must sleep. Rather talk about exercise, rather talk about eating the right, taking the right supplement, do a lot of things, and that sleep will come at its time. Some wealthy and successful people have said that if you sleep at night, then you are not ready to be successful. These days, my active time is night, middle of the night. It is when it is approaching maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock. That's when I begin to sleep. Like 3-4 days ago, it was 4 a.m. I started dozing off. Okay, so I'm telling you the truth, and I've seen a lot of research that supports what I'm saying. If you need more information on that, you can contact me personally. Okay, and then finally, which is not the least, is your medicals. When you fall ill, anything happens to you, what do you do? In our environment here, people have the culture and tradition of doing the wrong things. In the first place, they do self-medication. They don't visit the doctors. If you ask them, there is no money to go to the hospital. You understand? You could be killing yourself. And most times what does happen is they run themselves to an emergent state. They have to be rushed to the hospital. And before you know it, some of them die. So it is the last thing that I would tell you most people don't even talk about. You should take your health seriously. When you are sick, you're not feeling fine. If there are investigations to carry out, let them carry it out. Let them know exactly what is wrong with you. If they don't run tests, nobody will be talking about COVID. I hope you understand. It's because they ran tests and knew what is there that led to the appropriate way to handle it. Okay, so when you fall ill, your medicals, take them seriously. And when you do that, you are likely to live long. I think at this point, I want to drop the curtain and revert back to wonderful Kelly here, who will take it up from here. I believe if there are questions and things that, or comments or whatever that needs clarification, we can take it up from there. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Augustine. I have taken a lot of notes, and definitely the information that you provided tonight is very valuable in terms of prevention, leading a healthy, transformed life. Just wanted to give you a couple of testimonies that I've had on the supplements. Definitely when you're talking about your tips and about the food and proper food, you know, a great story is that I have our supplements, the Meta Switch, and I had lost 40 pounds and 25 inches of fat. So you can imagine how I felt after that. And that led me to be able to do to exercise and lead a healthier life. Secondly, we mentioned two of the products, the ATP and the Cellgevity. And once again, Tammy, your story that you had on that was very instrumental in me taking that when I had, in Canada, we have very cold winters, and I had slipped on some ice and fallen and hit my head very hard on ice. It ended up in a mid-concussion, and I started to really get severe headaches. That all started to play out around Christmas Day. And I had a choice of either going to the emergency and spending, you know, Christmas in the hospital, but I chose, and I remember that story that Tammy had shared with us. And I actually used the ATP and Cellgevity, one for the mental clarity and focus, because it was a mid-concussion. So it was very foggy. And then secondly, it was the Cellgevity helped to boost the glutathione with help with the inflammation and the pressure in my brain. So I can attest two great stories for using these supplements. But you know, I think also too, one of the things is that you're talking about happiness, and certainly in the job that I was in the corporate sector, and trading time for money and owning my own business and incorporated, I certainly wasn't happy. And you know, being a part of this company now, I'm very happy sharing the supplements, the technology that we have, and changing and transforming lives. So it's been wonderful, and also through the pandemic, it was very instrumental in having that residual income that, you know, that helped as well. So at this point, you know, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris and Tammy, for sharing some of the information tonight as well, speaking to what Dr. Austin has to say. And what I'd like to do is open up the forum. If anybody has any questions, to hear them from the audience, and direct the questions to Austin or Chris and Tammy to answer them. So if we do have any, I'd love to share with them. If you'd like to text your questions in the chat session, and we can answer those for you if you have some questions.
You can also type your questions on the comment section so that we can read them and attend to them. But while that is going on, to fill up the space while you type your questions, I want to tell you that there's a direct relationship between these products and COVID. If you remember when COVID started, and I also mentioned it here too, they say a lot of people, certain people were prone to acquiring the disease easily or getting more sick with the COVID because of their conditions. For instance, the elderly people, the people that have diabetes, people that have chronic illnesses, liver problems and all that. But guess what? All these conditions are associated with low levels of glutathione. Mm-hmm. I hope you are following. They are all associated with low levels of glutathione. The older you get, your glutathione levels drops. And the corollary to that is that in children that have high levels of glutathione, we were told that they were not affected by COVID. Isn't that just too clear and straightforward? And of course, there were articles written by researchers that point to the fact that the glutathione that this product helps you to produce actually destroys viruses. So when you want to protect yourself from COVID-19, besides following all the rules, of course, you keep the distance, you use your face masks, you wash your hands, at regular intervals, you avoid gatherings when you don't need to. What else you need to do is take this supplement, because I want to tell you, we are not so immune. The face masks we use, all these measures have been shown to reduce exposure, not eliminate. That is why you still see people who use face masks, who follow all these rules, still come down with the virus and eventually die. Okay? So what is the easiest way? And I've had experiences with COVID-19 patients who use this product, and a lot of them I saw on the screen that was shown by our Chris Dingras, where he stated thousands of testimonies. I'm already having thousands of testimonies. I, as an individual, you really don't know what is going around me with this product. I have thousands of testimonies already. So if I have about getting close to 1,000 of testimonies, and many other people have their own testimonies, and we are still saying we have 1,000, it means like maybe 1 or 2%. People talk about 1 or 2% of their testimonies. And that is the truth. I've not told all my testimonies. I have hundreds of them, but I only mentioned 1 or 2. So we have many testimonies, close to millions. So over to you, Kelly, if we have questions.
Yeah, so Dr. Augustine, if you could respond to Rosemary's question of how long does it take to see the effect of the supplement? Perhaps you could speak to that, please.
Okay, that is a very, very nice question. I've often been faced by this. And the basis for asking this question is the perceived economic implication of taking the supplement. A white man doesn't ask this question because of their economy. They have a better economy, and they have the mindset that they are going to take it for life. And that's why most of those who accept these supplements don't intend to stop taking them. So they don't ask these questions. But in our environment, because of our status, economic status, people are concerned, and they won't even want to take it until they have something serious that is bothering them. In other words, not really for prevention. They're using it for a condition. And that will lead me to start by stating a disclaimer to this. It's often said by the company that it's not meant for treatment. It is not meant for prevention, to prevent any disease. It is not meant to cure any health condition. It is not meant to diagnose anything. It is only meant to boost your glutathione. You understand? So it's just like saying, I'm only here to give you water, whether you bath with it or you drink it or whatever. It's none of my business, but I know you lack water here. So I'm here to give you plenty of water. What your system chooses to do with the supplement you are taking depends on the degree of the problem in the system. You understand? And that also influences the time you see results. Like, we all have different levels of glutathione. Let me use percentages to differentiate it. If we have 2 diabetic patients, one of them has a glutathione level that is as low as maybe 15%, and the other one has levels as low as maybe 40%. We should expect the person that is as low as 40% to get faster and better results than the person who is as low as 15%, because glutathione is an absolute thing. We say that by the time we are 20 years of age, the level drops to a particular level, and there is a level it gets to, diseases begin to appear. You understand? So sometimes when you are taking it and you've not built it up to that level where it can begin to handle the disease, you just quickly, conclude that it's not working. And I've seen it times without number, that certain people, quit taking it too early. But when talked to, I made them realize that, look, you have to be open, freely take it. You understand? Don't think of stopping it. All these people eventually got results. So that's to tell you, that they had very low levels of glutathione. Now, wishful thinking will take you nowhere. If your levels of glutathione is maybe 10%, and you want to wish that it is 50%, wishful thinking does not work. And that's where a lot of people have offended their clients when it comes to this supplementation. You give them the wrong information. Just take it. Tomorrow you're going to see results. No. What I do tell people is I cannot give you a time when you're going to see results. But if that you are going to see results, I'm 100% sure that you will see results. But the time you will see it, I can't tell you, because if you ask me, I'm not inside you to tell you your levels of glutathione. There are some countries that have machines that detect levels of glutathione. I think Paul Tessiman is on this call, and he mentioned that in one of his program, that there are countries that have this machine that tests for glutathione, but it has not come to Nigeria. So if we have that machine, we could probably do some studies where we know what level your glutathiones are and where we expect to start getting results. But the long and short of it is that you are building your glutathione. If it takes a day to build it to results level, fine. If it takes a week, if it takes a month, if it takes 3 months, I saw somebody who took it up to 3 months before beginning to see results. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Augustine. I think that Rosemary had a client and she had been taking it. And as a result of that, she had this question because she wasn't seeing the results. And I'm sure that several people do get that question. But I think that the explanation that you've provided is something that we can share with people when we're actually sharing the science with them. So I hope, Rosemary, that answers your question. We have another question in terms of Paul Oseki has, experienced some heartburn when taking Celgevity, and what can they do about that if they experience any heartburn with that?
Okay, from experience, let me say, when I started taking Celgevity, just to let you know that you are not the only one and that experiences that. I've attended several presentations. There was one I did in a hospital, and all the nurses were talking about this heartburn thing. So what I observe is this: Celgevity is not meant to be taken on full stomach. You don't take it immediately after eating or when you are soon about to eat. You're about to eat, you take Celgevity. It is wrong. I discovered this. Initially, when I joined the company, people were talking about taking Celgevity without paying attention to whether it's on empty stomach or not. But personally, I discovered, and I did further research that showed me that even most of these drugs that we take after eating, they are not to be taken after eating. You understand? They work better on empty stomach. They get better absorbed. In fact, it's not like a short fasting period you give them. What I advise is, before when you want to take Celgevity, ensure you've not eaten for more than 3 hours. You understand? And after taking, if you can take it such that when you're going to eat will be beyond 3 hours. In fact, it's doing wonders for you. It's going to do amazingly well. Why is this so? You see, that Celgevity contains a lot of stuff in it, a lot of stuff. And there's a level of concentration in it that once it gets to your system, what it actually needs is water to dilute it, deconcentrate it. And when adequate deconcentration has taken place, good absorption takes place. You don't interfere with this process by adding food. When you do that, the concentration adds to your food. The food you take, the digestion delays because of the altered concentration. And what you get is when food stays long in your stomach, it gives room for more acid to accumulate and spillover takes place. The older you get, the sphincter that connects your upper eating food pipe to your stomach, we call it esophagus. There's a sphincter there. The older you get, it tends to weaken. Children have it very tight. So if a child takes it, the child may not experience heartburn because food cannot go back to that tube. But as a full-grown man, elderly man, woman, your sphincter is weak. So food can easily come back with whatever condition. It could be from increase or lying down soon after eating. Usually, if you do something that interferes with the consistency of the food in your stomach, it's going to stay long. And if food stays up to 3 hours, 4 hours in your stomach, and eventually you lie down, the content that is acidic tracks your esophagus, close to your mouth. And that is the origin of heartburn. So that is why you must be on empty stomach, okay? And with that, heartburn disappears. And a rider to that is the concern for people who have ulcer. Their ulcer will just heal like magic. Heals like magic. When you say heartburn and ulcer, it's like if a thing causes heartburn, then it's not to be taken when you have ulcer. That's not true. Okay? Use this method and your ulcer will just disappear. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Austin. I appreciate all the comments that people have been making in terms of the webinar. Very appreciative of the information, and also to Tammy and Paul to recap some of the important points here. Paul did mention that he did take it on an empty stomach, 40 minutes to 60 minutes before his breakfast, and he still had heartburn.
That's too short. From my experience, it's too short. Okay. You should increase it to like 2-3 hours. And that will go before and after. That's before meals. If he's going to take it before meals, there should be 3 hours before. And if it's after a meal, up to 3 hours. That heartburn will disappear.
Okay, very good advice. Thank you. Rosemary has also said that she feels restless whenever she takes the ATP. Can you comment on that?
Okay, well, I wouldn't know, but what I can say about that is taking products like Cellgevity and ATP. Taking Cellgevity and ATP can lead you to dehydration. It happens with people who are fresh takers of these products. If it is the first time you are taking it, you are likely to experience this. And why do you experience this? These products are good at detoxifying the system. If you have something that is not good for your system, it's going to leave. And guess what? It doesn't just live alone. It lives with water, either through your stool or through your urine. It's going to live. Sometimes you are not observant enough to observe these changes. But if you are very observant, if your stool used to be much harder, they become lighter. That means more water is leaving you. Okay? So you have to make up for that. Very, very important. I just hope you probably are not reacting to anything. There's no known reaction to any of this product. Okay? So when you feel dizzy, feel all sorts, then just take more water, And the more toxins you have, the more detoxification effect you might be having, and probably the more water you might need to take. And it's important to note that by and large, detoxification effect, if you are consistent with the use of the product, usually lasts with your first and second week of taking the product, by which time certain things would have, especially the ones that can leave very fast, would have left your system and normalization begins to take place. But if you are an on and off taker, there are people who will take it now, and the next time they're going to take it is when they get money, maybe in 6 months' time. It's like you are going back and forth. Each time you are taking it, it's like you are a new taker. So you keep experiencing the signs of detoxification each time you take it. But if you are consistent, it gets to a point, there's nothing to clear from your system, and you are stable and perfect.
Okay, wonderful.
I hope that answers. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Austin. There is a question, and I'm sure you get many on this, of how necessary and safe are the COVID vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines? I mean, you've shared a lot of—
Please come again, I didn't get that.
How necessary and safe are the COVID-19 vaccines? And that is by Ty.
Yeah, put me on a hot seat. Yeah, putting me on a hot seat right now, because this is a very sensitive issue. What I'll be expected to tell you is that it is safe to take, okay? That's what the government wants me to tell you. And I won't say anything more. You may call me to get further what you need to find out more on a personal level, because it's a very, very sensitive issue. And of course, a lot of things are, they are evolving. The research on it evolving. We have certain people who believe it's not safe to take at all. Some people feel when you take it, it doesn't change anything, because as we know it, taking it does not stop you from running the tests. Taking it does not stop you from having the infection, the virus. So what they say is that when you get it, the virus, the illness is not likely to be serious. But we've seen someone who had taken the first and second dose and eventually got the virus and died. So many like that. So there are a lot of controversies here and there, but then we have policemen everywhere watching what people are saying about this. They want you to say what the government wants you to say. And I don't know who is a government person on this program who might take me up on whatever I'm saying, because I'm also I'm expected to be part of the people giving out this COVID vaccine to people, just that I've not taken that responsibility yet. I have my own reservations for that. And if you want to get my personal opinion on this, I think you may want to see me privately so I don't create trouble. I hope that's okay.
And that's perfectly okay, Dr. Austin. Okay. You know, I wanted to certainly address the question that is there. I'm sure that's on the minds of many people. I think what you've covered today is very helpful tips in terms of keeping very healthy. And then at that point is really going to the person that you trust for your medical care to ask that specific question. So I really respect your answer, and I think that that's a great answer for you, for everyone to hear on the forum. But I want to bring it back to the point that you've made an excellent job of really prevention, of really addressing the importance of supplementation, and you know that this is very important for us. All the additional things of the exercise, your weight, all of these things, happiness are very key. And I want to thank you tonight. I don't see any more questions, but I want to thank you tonight for your time.
I think there is one. There's a new one.
Okay. See,
and it's long.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just going through all the questions. Okay. Can you see the question? Okay.
Yes.
complained that he had a bleeding gum, had taken Cellgevity for quite a while with no physical changes. He said he expected Cellgevity to, make him feel better. I lost the rest of the question, but could that have been a problem?
Okay, let me just.
Let's see what we've got.
Can I take the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, one of my clients explained that he had bleeding gum, had taken Cellgevity for quite a while with no physical changes. He said he expected Cellgevity to help make a visible difference, even if not completely. How can we successfully explain to the people out there that Cellgevity is not curative? This is because several media highlights ailments like stroke, diabetes, glaucoma, and so on being taken care of by Cellgevity. Can you shed more light, please, Dr. Austin? So now, this is very straight and clear. Personally, you see, we individuals, we sometimes are very lazy, and when things go wrong, we begin to trade blames. Okay, when I was introduced to Max International and the products were shown to me, all sorts were said about the product. But I didn't stop there. I went further to do my own research. And what I found out was that there were some misinformations here and there by those people who are aggressively trying to convince people to buy the products from them. They said a lot of things, okay? And I identified that. And I got information directly from the company that this product is only trying to make your system younger. And when your system gets younger, a lot of health conditions could disappear, okay? But they don't tell you they will. That is the word there. It's not like they will. And I realized that that is just the truth about it. There are some conditions and known treatments for them. Yet there are people who have those conditions and they took the right treatment and nothing happened. They never got better. In fact, if I may say further, I think I met this particular client, this person I've been referred to, and I addressed the issue with him. The actual fact is that the bleeding gum he had was could not be diagnosed, and his consultant told him that it was not cured, that there was no remedy to it. So he had been living with this bleeding gum all his life. Okay, of course, maybe as far as when since when he noticed it and started having this problem. And he never told anyone that I'm using this stuff for bleeding gum. But he just concluded if this could do so many things, then it should help my bleeding gum. So when he took it and it didn't help his bleeding gum, there was no guidance. So what I would advise is for such person, he needs not to keep to himself when he has such issues. You don't just take information on social media. A lot of people are contributing informations there to their various customers. They know what to say to them to appeal to them, okay? You don't just jump into one website, get information, and you ascribe it to what the company is giving. No, it is wrong. It means you are not doing due diligence. And that's why such persons are advised to attend events like this. And when they do attend events like this, they get facts. Of course, you heard on this event that there is no disclaimer. There is a disclaimer. It is not for curative. It's not curative. It's not preventive. It's not diagnostic. It's not for treatment. But it's just to boost your glutathione, because it's been said that when your glutathione runs down, you begin to age faster and diseases set in. So it's like a common sense. what is going down and problems are coming up. Let us fill it up. And once we fill it up, let's see if it's going to help. And that's the position of the company. And the company keeps maintaining this. And the company has been cautioning a lot of people. Stop exaggerating things. Let people get their testimonies without, extreme assurances. You understand? In our medical practice, whenever we want to operate on anyone, we tell them to sign that either life or death, they are okay with the outcome. Because nobody is God. I hope you get it. So that is just clear. So since there are no other questions to answer, I hope that answers that. We can wrap up all the, and I think it's been a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
It certainly has, Dr. Augustine, and I really appreciate your time tonight. I appreciate everybody else's time that's been on this webinar. Chris and Tammy, as always, thank you so much for attending and supporting the webinar. And for everyone's attention and questions and comments in the session. So once again, have a great rest of your evening and get some sleep, as Dr. Augustine, and so that you're nice and fresh for tomorrow morning. And I wish everybody in 2022 a very successful year. And we will have more of these webinars, so we look forward to those in the future coming up.
Yes, just